Welcome back to the Curse of Silverthorn, the epic adventure with wonderful heroes who are doing incredible things. And now, just to give us a recap of what happened last time, we have the Metatron, who will give us a brief recap and we can dive right back into it.
Okay, yes. The last time we were playing, so we had our group who's still stuck in the Fae. And as we were trying to find a way to avoid having an altercation with the Wood Elves, who are particularly nasty, we actually were approached by a creature, which was a unicorn. And this unicorn actually drove us to safety. And mind you, this was after seeing a dryad who tried to cast a spell or an incantation on Sir James, which was I was rather fond of watching. And so thanks to the unicorn, who also taught Sir James Horse how to speak, we managed to go through, avoiding the Wood Elves. But now that we have reached I believe it's a castle of Silverthorn, we noticed a dragon there, which I believe was green, waiting for us. And that's where we are. So talking horses, dragons, Muppets.
And who are the Muppets, I wonder? Surely not. So yes, you just came over the hill and you've seen that the entire castle of Silverthorn, which was owned or ruled over by Lord Sarek Crow, is in the Fae. So some type of thing happened similar to the tower you're in, which has brought the entire castle and its local surroundings right into the Fae. And the actual Fae stone, which was also called the Silverthorn, and the castle was named after, is jutting out of the ground like a kind of like a curved spike, and it's shining brightly with a very impressive reflectant metal, which you could deduce to be silver. And there is a dragon sleeping around it, and it literally has just opened its eyes and looked at all of you. How do you react?
How big is
have him, Sir James.
It's about as big as an elephant, but longer. So
supposedly a young dragon, I suppose. I mean, I don't know about.
Well, you don't know much about dragons.
So I'm looking at Elithir. Does Elithir know anything? I'm looking at him for sort of reaction. I regard him as a local at this point, or at least having some more knowledge on.
Does Elithir know anything?
No, dragons are not common to the Fae. You'll have your tales, but they'll be about as common, probably even less so, than stories of dragons in the realm, actually. There would be a less of a sight in the Fae than in the realm itself.
So I look at Matt and I go,
does it have wings?
Yes, it does.
Does it have wings and 4 legs, or is it like a wyvern?
This one has 4 legs.
Okay.
It's a proper
Fiction is like,
so it's an insect.
It's a bloody dragon. I'm pretty. We have to get out of here. These things. Have you heard the tales? They'll breathe fire and they'll race. We have to get out.
So James, may I recommend that we retreat back and find a safe place to discuss what our next course of action should be?
I think out of its immediate range is probably a good idea, but we don't know whether it's a threat or not. I could go and address it and see what it does.
Your horse suddenly speaks up. It's like, oh yeah, that's a good option, Sir James. I mean, I could even try and talk of it.
Why don't we send William ahead to see if this dragon is a creature that can be reasoned with?
Excellent choice. Yes, send William. He'll know what to do.
Well, how about you send William to go around into the castle and ask the people who've been in the castle, presumably within sight of the dragon for some while, about the dragon.
Good idea, William. Why don't you go ahead? We'll retreat to a safe spot. You go and do some reconnaissance and report back as quickly as possible, okay?
But seriously, how far away is the entrance to the castle? Do we have to go under the dragon to get there?
It's about 80 meters with the actual phase stone, the silver phase stone, almost like right in the middle. So you could cross the distance, or you could go around.
I was definitely thinking of something circumnavigous. I mean, we've got rocks and hills and stuff, haven't we, either side?
Yeah, trees, lots of trees. But this whole area is actually a bit of an open clearing, which seems to have been
Yes, but didn't you say it was in a sort of
Well, it was on the top of a hill, okay, and then it's kind of opened up to this flat area, which seems to have been. It's like this area. There's this whole kind of 80-meter, circumference seems to be like the area that was outside of the castle in the realm, the actual realm that is being actually transposed into the Fae. And so that's the clearing area. And then on the perimeter, there's lots of trees and everything.
Okay, well, I need to get a sight block. Trees sound good because you can't, even if it's flying, you won't be able to see down through the trees. So I'm in no hurry. It's a nice day. So yeah, I'll go way over that way and then round.
Fintred walks up to Talon and say, "Do you really think you should go alone, dude? You never can trust these peasants. Don't know what he could get up to. Maybe we should sell sedated Elven person with him."
No, we can trust William. I completely trust him.
Okay.
He's very reliable and very hardworking, and quite. I have to be honest, quite dispendable as well. We can.
Oh, good. Yes, good choice. We don't want to lose our guide in the Fae either. Yes. Your horse, Sir James, speaks up. Is like,
yeah.
So hey, James, just wondering, now you don't have to, but just wondering. Do you have any apples?
Yes, I'm sure we do. Where did William put them? I'm not going to shout to William because he's probably...
Well, sorry, I'm assuming William is he's walking through the forest now.
I'm sure we could find some apples. Why are you suggesting we offer one to the dragon?
No, I'm sure he doesn't like him, but I like him. I like him. Just, you could give me an apple.
We could give you an apple. Do you have any knowledge of dragons, being a creature with 4 legs and all?
Well, I think it has a very large distaste, wholly repulsed by apples. He doesn't want any apples at all. Pretty sure.
What do dragons eat then, Mr. Horse?
Oh, I don't know. I assume people.
And
hey, what if you killed it? Wouldn't that be grand? I could be the horse that you ride, and we kill a dragon.
Well, there was definitely an option a little later when William has finally made it to the castle, had a rope thrown over and clambered on board to find out what's going on. It's definitely going to happen.
William, could you make a perception roll just as you're walking around?
Oh, it's looking. 7.
7. Yeah. All right, so you are very alert.
I know this thing's middle name.
You are very alert as you're walking through, and 7 is a really high bar. As you're walking, you're looking in the trees and everything, and ahead of you, a decent far distance, you suddenly realize that's a different shade through the leaves, and then you as you kind of look, you suddenly see the form, and you can see you start to count. There is 5 people in trees, armed with bows, crouching down, and they all have the bows pointing towards you. And as you look around, you start to look all around the forest, and there are people in trees at regular intervals. And even when you gaze into the clearing on the other side, now that you know what you're looking for, you've got such a keen eye, you can even see them on the other side. There are people in trees, armed with bows, surrounding this whole clearing.
Right, you say definitely people.
People of some kind. But actually, you got such a good roll. They have pointed ears, and they are wearing what look to be leaves. But these leaves are giant, and they've been made in such a way to fold and wrap in this elegant kind of clothing, but they're big leaves and wraps, and so it looks like they're wearing green clothing as a result. Some are, a bit auburn, as if leaves in autumn, when they get the color and stuff, and so some are brown, but they all help mask them quite well. But oddly enough, their hair are different shades of green, then a more natural earthy green to brown to that reddish orange hue of leaves as well when they start to get. And so these are odd creatures, but they got pointed ears.
Right. So they're wearing giant leaves. They have green and orange hair, and we have pointed ears. But thanks to my rolling really well, despite that, I work out they're not human. Okay.
And the ones close are pointing their bows. Of course, they're not doing the whole drawn thing. No, the arrows are, but they're still pointing towards you. They're not the whole.
Hold.
Go! Snap.
Right. I have heard Faye apparently using my language. There was the rustling, and there was the woman in the tree, and so forth. It appeared to be my language. Have I actually heard any of them actually speak sounds aloud in my language?
Not these ones. No, you've heard a magical creature speak in your language.
Oh yeah, and I've heard the unicorn speak, of course. Yes,
and the unicorn. And so there's a chance, but you don't know. An elf companion might be able to fill you in on that, but he's not here.
Okay, I look back the way I've come. Now that I've seen some in the tree, you say I could even see them the other side of the.
Yes, yeah, you got such a good roll. You noticed, like,
I've come, and have I come past loads already?
You've passed, a good number actually.
Okay, so obviously it's not their habit to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
They can see I'm tremendously well armored, okay. I'll keep going, and when I'm within like stage whisper distance of some in a tree, I'll just passing through.
Can you imagine that?
And so as you look up, because you get decently close to one that's, in a tree that you're walking under, they got the bows and they just follow you as they go. And they no response to the comment either, just like that.
Marksmen. No, Marks elves.
Okay. I keep going until I can see the castle.
So the castle is not on the perimeter, but it's closer to the perimeter than a lot of other things. And so if this is the circle, the face stone's in the middle, the castle is just kind of like on that edge. So you're going to need to walk into the clearing a bit to get to the front of the castle, because the front of the castle has a door that, drawbridge onto a raised bit of earth that leads up to the same level as the drawbridge, and that is facing towards the face stone and the dragon. So you're going to need to walk into the clearing to get to the door.
Right. Now, you did furnish us, didn't you, with a picture of this?
Yes, there is a picture of
in front of me.
Silverthorn.
But looking at it from my point of view, do I feel it's incredibly likely that there's an entrance round the other side?
There should be a postern on the other side, a single door.
That side, just having one entrance seems unusual. So I think on the non-dragon side would be my preference.
All right, so you have a look on the non-dragon side, and as you spot, you do see a single door on this side that is closed, and it is. Yes, you're right. It's facing away from the dragon.
Using the motte as a sight block, I make my way there and knock.
Knock. So William approaches the door and gives a good, solid, echoing knock. And while he does that, we need to go back to our other intrepid adventurers and ask what's been going on, because what's the name of your horse actually, Sir James?
Thundercloud or something like that. Thunder will do.
Thunder will do.
Yeah.
So Thunder's there saying, I think we could take it. I'd write, give me an apple or two and I'll go. Let's the stories they could tell, the glory.
Well, if we do that, I think we need to announce ourselves to the dragon and see what it does first and challenge it, because that would be the correct thing to do. But shall we wait for another 5 minutes for William to do his reconnaissance?
I can totally tell you're the one who trained this horse. Like literally.
I think there's a definite possibility we are going to do something gloriously spectacular very soon. But I think we need to give William a little chance to to find out a little bit more.
Given that both Talon and Sir James have got a fair amount of combat experience and fairly worldly, are we able to ascertain any potential weaknesses with this dragon?
Oh, that's interesting. So you could try and use your own deductive reasoning to figure out a couple of things.
So I mean, eyes and
yeah. So that you got the obvious targets you would assume. There is a question that one of you could come into one of your minds that could lead you to potential weaknesses, but I can't be guaranteed if it will come to your character's minds. I could give it to you. So this would kind of be an intelligence check. You could try and roll to see if there's an important question that might come to your mind.
If he said it out loud, as something we are talking about, perhaps we could all roll. I don't know. Did he say it out loud? Did you say it out loud?
Yeah. I mean, Sir James, can you see any weaknesses on that beast?
Oh, there's plenty of spots for a sharp lance to go in, I'm sure. I mean, all you have to do is lean into the charge and aim for something that attracts your eye.
Those scales, those scales look
scale.
pretty solid, and they have even a reflective sheen that almost looks metallic.
There's still going to be gaps in the armor, something that a decent lance point might bite on. But we have a look. Other weaknesses then. Let's. What would you suggest, Talon?
I live there. Is this a creature of the Fae?
Absolutely not. In fact, I'm amazed.
Do you think that this could have some weakness to any of the metals or objects that we're carrying?
Well, I doubt he's got a weakness to Elven silver, considering it's hugging it. So I don't think my sword will do anything. But I'm not sure.
Do you think iron would harm it?
I have literally no idea. Do I have any idea, Shad?
Roll it? No, you don't. But you can roll intelligence to see if there's a tale or a story, and you can also roll a perception or to try and see is there anything on this thing that. But the intelligence roll will let me feed you a question that could lead you to a potential weakness that might help you combat this creature.
Can I just remind that we did take crossbows as well? I've certainly got a crossbow, and I think a couple of the others.
Oh yeah.
Did, so
by the way, the three. I think it was 3 or 4 soldiers. I have them written down. How many exactly are with you?
Every soldier has one ready.
Yeah, there's 4 soldiers, and Reagan is just like, "Well, I wasn't expecting this." We'll take your lead. I don't know what we're gonna do, but all right.
So the things kind of like out of character, off the record. The things coming to my mind are that it may have a vulnerability to iron and steel. Number one. Number two, we don't know whether it has any breath attack. We don't know if it breathes fire or anything like that. So
there are stories like whenever dragons, the fire has been associated with dragons in many a tale in the realm. So it would make sense for your characters to assume or expect such a possibility.
But, if we were going to attack it, not knowing whether it can breathe fire or not, I think approaching within breathing range would be a bad idea. However, given that we have a whole bunch of crossbows, if we all spread out in different directions so it couldn't rush us all in one direction, if we circled it and basically all aimed for its face, then we could pepper its eyes and face with crossbow bolts. That would be my strategy.
Yeah.
So James said, "Well, you hold back. That should be a plan B. My plan A is to challenge it to single combat and charge in with the lance as long as Thunder's up for that, which I'm sure he is. He's a good chap. Are you up for that spectacular death, Thunder?"
Oh, well, you do know if anyone's going to die, it'll probably be you. I'll be fine, but sure. And look, I'll be very sad if you die. I promise.
Well, that's delightful. As long as somebody's going to take notes and write a story about me.
So long as I get the apples, I think I'll survive.
I'll find some apples for him. Are we going to do perception? Do we need to do perception?
Yeah, so do an intelligence roll specifically. And while you roll, I'll quickly go back to William, as you've been kind of knocking on this door.
Yes, William, who has all the apples, if you remember.
And so a voice. It takes a while, but eventually you hear kind of a muffling, and you hear a voice like, "Who's that?"
"I'm William Kendall. I'm here with Sir James of the Tower."
James at the what? You're actually from
Yes.
yeah the actual, not this strange place.
No. I'm from your world, and could you let me in?
Yeah, of course. He opens the door and you see this like gaunt face. His hair is messy, but is wearing very fine lordly clothing with, a large fur cloak kind of thing. He's like, come in before.
Shut the door. Bolt.
And he puts the thing on, and there's a metal grate that he closes.
The bucket.
And it's just, I can't
How long
believe
have you been here?
Oh, it's been nigh a week almost, and I can't believe what's going on. Did you see any of the men at arms at all?
Yes. We've rescued 4 of the men at arms who were in the tower across the way.
Tower? No. What tower? You come on in. Well, that's a good. But no, I'm talking about anyone that came from here, the castle. Did you run into anyone?
No. How many people are there in this castle now?
There's not many left. Maybe my family, my good wife, some of the servants, but the soldiers we sent out to scout and they never returned. It's just we don't know what's going on. This beast appeared and we've been trapped in here ever since.
Right. Sorry. When did the dragon appear?
4 days ago. 4 days ago.
So you transported into this realm before you saw the dragon?
Yes. And when we first did, we didn't know what was going on, so we sent out my men at arms to scout the area. They never returned.
I'm afraid I have no news about the men that you sent out. I'm sorry.
My brother was with them.
The dragon is curled around the Silverthorn, and it's been there for just 4 days. Is that right? Has it moved since then?
Occasionally, but it doesn't go far, and it returns very quickly, and it always sleeps around it.
Does it fly? Have you seen it fly?
No, I have not. Has wings, though? What would the wings be for?
Well, did it not arrive from the air?
No one saw it arrive. We fall asleep, and then suddenly there's a beast just there.
Right, so there are no soldiers in the castle.
I mean, I know how to use a sword, and so 1 or 2, but I'm the servants. But
right, well, my master is out there. He has his charger and a lance, and he's stupid enough to try to take on something that can fly. Right. So
you think you're all
do you know about the elves in the woods? The woods.
Elves. You mean tiny creatures of story and things?
Yeah, never mind about those. Okay. Right. So do you have horses?
No, not with us. They were in the stables.
Okay, what do you have that's of any use against a dragon? Do you have?
Yeah, there's a small armory with weapons and supplies. We've got food. There are months of food.
Do you have any big catapults, bolt throwers, anything?
No, we don't. Crossbows. We got. There's
enormous crossbows.
No, there's some sizable ones, but nothing like a ballast or anything like that. Silverthorn is so protected and secluded, and there's only one good entrance point. It's like it's not much need to harm the castle. It's never been threatened before.
Right. Okay. What's the distance between the highest tower of the castle and where my friends were? I think in a straight line.
In a straight line, it would be like a bit more because of the angle towards the tower, but you'll be looking at about 70 meters.
Oh, okay. So I wouldn't even need to climb the tower to shoot a message back by bow shot.
No, you wouldn't. No, you could shoot that far.
Okay. Do you have any writing implements?
Yes, of course. Come in.
Okay, right.
And so you walk down a brief, short little tunnel into the undercroft, and he goes up the stairs in the undercroft, and you actually then this is the great hall, and then there's like a small court chamber that's held, and then you go up further stairs, and then you enter the castle solar, which is filled with beds and cushions and everything around a low table, fireplace, and everything, and then he goes up again, and you pass several rooms, and he goes up all the way to the very top room, which is usually a ball, events kind of room, but everyone has been staying in this uppermost room for protection. And as you enter there, you see worried faces looking around, children, women, and servants, and they're always kind of looking. It's lit by candles and things, and they're all feeling very worried.
William Kendall.
And then like
William Kendall.
Hello, and hello, my lord, and they're actually calling you lord. I was like, hello, my lord. And also,
okay, right. So they've got some writing implements.
yes, and so he finds he's like,
Well, in the ink, and do I know how to write?
oh yeah, definitely. You probably don't know how to write Imperial. Actually, no. You're a smart guy. You might even be able to learn Imperial at some point, but you definitely know common language and common words.
Okay, maybe I did a lot of the accounting for Tallinn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. So on the smallest piece of vellum or whatever it is that I'm writing on. Hello, this is William. Hope you're all well. View from Tower, lovely. All soldiers from Castle are away and missing for 4 days. Dragon arrived 4 days ago. Castle been here a week. Lots of love, William. Sand, blotter.
So, are you going to get it to the top of the tower, or are you going to shoot through an arrow loop or something?
Well, I mean, if it's only that short a distance, I should be able to land it pretty close to them. I would have thought. Without
I will get you to roll, because if you get,
if I can climb a tower so that they can see me, so I can give them away first.
That's a good idea. So
and they're much more likely to see where the arrow lands.
Yes.
Rather than standing talking to each other and an arrow lands behind them and nobody sees it. That would be annoying.
And if they're aware that the arrow is coming, they could actually track its movement in case it might be coming too close and potentially avoid hitting them.
No. I'm far too good. There's a bit of wind though, isn't there? Yeah, anyway, so away first.
So you're on the top floor of the castle, and it's just up, stairs, upstairs, and you're now onto the roof of the uppermost portion of the castle, and good view up here, actually. He's like, see the giant trees, and there's actually a giant tree not too far away, maybe just a couple, 200 meters. Then you start waving. So back to the group. Roll a perception while you've been talking and theorizing and things like that. And
yeah, and we still need to roll the intelligence.
Yes, actually, roll that intelligence check to see if anyone kind of figures out something.
3 out of, I think I have 4 dice, because 3 is the base plus 1 intelligence. I don't know if I had to add anything else. If not, I've got a 3.
You got a 3?
Yep.
Well, we shall see. What do you get, Tallinn? Oh, hello. There we go.
I got 3.
3.
That's 6.
I got 1.
You got 1?
7.
Yeah, I got 1.
How many dice did you get to roll there?
2.
No, I was talking to Lloyd. How did you? This was an intelligence check.
No. I was just adding them up. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Fintred actually got a 4, and so oddly enough, which was the check that needed to be? Is there? It's an awful large beast to be able to fly with those wings. How do you think you can fly? And he says that out loud to all of you.
Right. Any sign that I've been spotted?
Oh, yeah. Now you roll a separate perception check, everyone. That was an intelligence roll to see if anyone asked the question. But Fintred does.
Only a 3 from me.
Perception, I've got. Do I add intelligence bonus to perception?
Yes.
Okay, so I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice.
Yeah. And so it's 3 plus your base attributes plus any perception skill. And so for you, are you wanting to roll for this, Jason?
I've already rolled 0.
Nice.
Only one out of 6. Unbelievable.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I got 3.
All right.
Talon, you notice in the distance there's someone waving from atop the castle.
Is that William?
It's yes,
Okay.
it's him. That's like
Yes, so it is.
He's managed to get inside the castle. What's he doing? He's trying to signal us.
Okay. Can I see that he's looking at me?
Hard to tell, but it seems like they're still and they're looking in your direction.
He looks.
Okay.
Like he's got.
Hold the bow sideways.
He looks like he's got his bow aimed at someone. And I start looking around.
He's not going to attack.
Twang.
He's attacking a dragon! Gosh darn it! What is he, crazy? But, William, roll technically this is a combat roll against a static challenge level. And you're just trying to get in the general vicinity, so I'm going to assign it difficult. But you want to get it close enough. And so, first off, how close are you aiming? Because, like, the difficulty you assign yourself for your goal will help inform me of the difficulty of the challenge level.
Well, if they're standing within easy conversational distance of each other, so they're a reasonably close knot, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to miss them by, I don't know. I'll try to overshoot so it lands a little down the slope, and so miss them by 10 yards and overshoot by maybe 15, 20 yards.
That's when he's going to get a headshot of the elf.
All right. I will say that's a specialized task, challenge level 3. And so this means for you, William, you have your base of 3, plus you have 1 point in bow, plus 2 from intelligence, and I believe bow adds a +2 as a weapon modifier. And so all up, that is 8 dice you get to roll with.
Oh, I get to roll more dice. Okay, that's good, because I've only rolled 2 successes so far. So, hey, 4!
4! Success! You... Absolutely, yeah. You've had practice in the bow, and so you know how to overshoot your aim. I'm just going to roll this, just in case of something.
1 is the elf.
Yeah, if it was a 1, it might have had a close encounter with someone in a tree, but I got a 5, so still close-ish. But
yes, I forgot to mention the elves in the trees. Never mind. I can send. I'll start writing a PS.
PS.
PS. Woods either side of you, full of elves, elves, whatever the plural of elf is, with bows. Brackets wood ? Sorry, I forgot that.
So Finchard was always like, well, he was a terrible shot. He didn't get close to the dragon at all. Why would he try and shoot? Why would he miss the dragon so much?
I'm now waving again at them and pointing at where I shot the arrow in a sort of.
Why is he pointing?
So I'm looking at the arrow. Can I see that it's got something on it?
You need to do a perception because it was moving fast and it's far away. It would be hard to notice a note tied to the arrow. And Fincher just he missed the dragon completely.
I got 3.
You didn't notice.
Okay, what's the distance between him and the dragon?
You got a 4. It's at least a challenge level 5. Extremely difficult. I would almost say 6 unrealistic to see a note from a zipping arrow in the air. That's pretty far away.
What about like an intelligence test to realize that that's probably what he was trying to do, even if I'm not seeing
I'll let you make an intelligence check to see if you can figure that out. That would be...
What's the distance between the group and the dragon?
About 40 meters.
Okay, so if I was aiming for the dragon, I've missed by about 60 meters from about 30 meters.
Yep.
So just how bad a shot do they think it's possible for me to be?
If he's that close, can't he just shout?
Yes, he can.
I'm rolling.
Like me to wake the dragon.
I got 3.
You got 3. Specialized task. You figure out if you missed that far. Maybe he was trying to tell us something by the arrow.
Okay, so I'll go towards the arrow.
Okay.
Wave at the wood elves.
Well, you don't know the wood elves.
Oh, come on, I'm from the Fae. What do you mean I don't know the wood elves are there? I'm from the Fae.
They're very good at hiding, and you haven't seen them yet, but you would only roll a perception to see if you notice any. I mean, remember, Lloyd got you got a 5 for the roll for the next arrow?
Yeah.
Yes, it lands in the same general area in which you were aiming.
What on earth is William doing? What's he shooting at?
I don't have bloody idea. It's a terrible shot. I mean, he's a peasant, so I don't know. That makes sense. But is he trying to aim at the dragon? It's almost like
he must be shooting at something. He's managed to get inside the castle. What's he doing? He should be bringing help, not shooting arrows.
Exactly. And he's getting close to us, the dragon. William, what are you doing over there? Yeah, and Finchard literally bellows that out quite a lot. So, Lloyd, you hear echoing over the thing, Finchard going, William, what are you doing over there? And it echoes. And the dragon noticeably stirs and looks in your direction.
Right, I'm getting on Thunder and grabbing my lance and saying, right, chaps, somebody go and get William's ammunition. That could be useful for us. Those arrows could be quite useful. We don't want to waste them. So, Eric, can you go and get them for us and bring them back? Because we might need them. The crossbowmen spread out.
I can do, my lord. The 4 of us will be able to figure out where that arrow landed. The 4 soldiers.
Only one of you, because I'm going to need cover, because I fear this dragon may not go down with one lance strike.
So James, please reconsider. I think we should first try and lure the dragon away.
Well, I could challenge it to a duel and say sort of over there.
So James, our priority has to be, you're never going to win fame and glory if you die in this land, because who will carry the message?
I will, says the horse. I'd tell people. I'm sure they'd listen.
Well, you need to get back, and we need to get to the stone and touch it. We hope, at least that's the theory we're working on. So we need to be able to get to what the dragon's currently wrapped around. So we need to get the dragon to move away from it. Could you perhaps draw it away and outride it?
Yes, I think that's an excellent idea. It's big, so it won't be able to dodge, and I can definitely dodge sufficiently. It may beat me once it's got up to speed, but I fear that I will be able to. No, I won't fear it. I know that I'll be able to get out of its way at least a few times. William's watched me dodge in tournament many times.
And
can I see that the dragon has awoken?
Yes, it has looked and actually has gotten up on all 4s and has walked in front.
Message on the arrows, you.
Quick, go and get the message.
William's shouting. What's William shouting? Can we hear him?
Yeah.
Something about arrows.
So, William, can you repeat what you said?
Read the messages on the arrows.
Which arrows? Oh, those arrows.
And by the way,
Finchard says back, if we're going to just be speaking to one another, why don't you just bloody tell us?
Because I didn't want to wake the dragon!
Well, you've done it already!
No, you did!
I'm sure it was you!
Let's retreat. Let's.
And as I made clear in the notes, the castle is filled with soldiers!
Right, so do we have a clear path to the castle?
The dragon is in between you. You need to go around. But by the way, the dragon is on all 4s and is now pacing back and forth in front of the stone, looking directly at you. And it looks like just from animal behavior, like a territorial defensive kind of, sensation that it's like...
it thinks it's an egg.
Or it thinks it's treasure.
Yeah, treasure. Yeah,
treasure.
So James is going to go to the opposite direction and suggest that he's going to distract. He and Thunder are going to distract the dragon, and then you gentlemen, all of you, once we've got the arrows from William, because there's an important message on there, you make a dash for the other side of the clearing and get into the castle. How about that as a plan?
So James, I remember once I was on a hunting trip, and there was a very large herbivore. I can't remember the name of what they call them in that area, but we did this really good trick where one person lanced it, and the lance had been tied to a tree. And so when the creature was impaled and tried to flee with its wound, it couldn't. It was anchored to the tree. And then we laid about it with our spears, and we had a fine feast that evening. I wonder if we could use these sort of tactics with this creature, because it's got wings and it will just take to the air. If we can somehow harpoon it, then...
Marvellous idea. Did William pack the harpoons?
Well, you've got a lance, I presume.
The lance is a sharp point, really. It's designed to go in and through. I'm not sure it has a jaggy bit on it. Barb, yeah.
So could I get you all to roll a perception check? Because there's something you might notice now that the dragon is on all fours and moving around. It's a difficult one. It's like a challenge level 5 to see if you notice it.
Also, Shad, I rolled with 3 successes to see if I could see the wood elves. Do I know they're there?
No, you do not see them. It's a challenge level 4 if you're wanting to know. Oh, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I failed.
So you could spend a destiny point if you got, or a couple if you want. Finchred has only rolled 4, so he doesn't notice. But it also... It's not as an important role to him to feel like he needs to summon the fate to his aid or something like that. He has such will to achieve it, so he's not going to spend a destiny to determine either. So he misses. So no one notices.
I only got 2, so there is no point. I mean, I can't,
Yeah.
Okay, I turn to the highest-ranking person in the rooms behind me. Do you have any livestock in the ground?
Some might have been tied in the pens outside, but I don't know where they've gone. They're not there anymore.
What I could do with is maybe a calf, a big long length of chain, and a big stone, or an anvil or something.
Sorry, what? What do you need?
A bait, a line, and a sinker.
I'm sure there's.
Dragon size.
I'm sure we have rope in the Undercroft, store somewhere, and I'm not. We don't have any bait. No animals here.
Meat? Do you have any barrels of cured meat?
Yes, we've got food stores. If that's what you're after, I thought you were saying something alive. But
Well, that would have been better.
no,
A
no.
barrel can roll a bit, I suppose.
Apart from my sister-in-law, but no, probably not.
Okay. Anyway, I set about trying to organise that.
All right. So you follow Lord Crow down the stairs into the Undercroft to where the storerooms are, and he opens up the buttery to where the food stores are and some of the dried meats and things, and he's doing that. And so back to the group. So the dragon has been, pacing and it's still doing its thing. What was your plans? You were thinking of actually trying to distract him or to get to the castle or to...
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go to the opposite direction, try and make a distraction to get him to turn his back on the rest of the group. And I suggested that they go round the other way while I distract the dragon, and then I'll try and circle back and get in through the gate.
Get into the castle? Sure. Is there a way to alert them that we're trying to get there so they'll open the doors? Honestly, we don't want to be knocking on the doors while the beast is after us.
We can scream, but I don't know if the dragon understands our language. That's dangerous. I mean, it's human language. So.
Well, I was going to challenge the dragon. So James is happy. He's not going to attack without announcing himself and saying, "What ho, dragon? Stand by for a jolly good thrashing." As he stands at as far away as sensible amongst beginning the trees.
So is that the plan then? Is that what you got? Just go quick. You hear a scream from the woods behind you, and two of the soldiers look back. 3 of the soldiers look back and like, "That was Edward. I'm sure that was Edward."
Who's Edward?
Edward was one of the soldiers that went to look for the arrows that William shot.
Oh gosh.
He was the one with the neck.
Well, I think we still have to. I don't think we can go and look for the men while I'm trying to distract the dragon simultaneously.
Someone's under attack. We better get out of here. Something's happening.
Yeah, I think we should just run and go into the castle. At least we'll have some defense. We should just go. Let's use your flipping human, rocky, stony buildings.
So, how are you running? Are you trying to get past the dragon by? Are you going to be
No, go around.
Fully around.
Basically the same way William went, since it worked for him.
And I'm specifically trying to distract the dragon by sort of flashy displays of lance maneuvering and horsemanship and shouting, "Come on, dragon! Come and have a go! Jump over here! There's a good chap."
Okay.
Have you read the notes?
We haven't got.
Got the notes yet. The person they sent after the notes had a horrifying scream, and you have not then heard from him since that time.
How's the dragon responding to Sir James's efforts?
So okay. Let's do that.
Have a drink.
All right. Basically, as soon as you come out and then strike any type of pose thing, like the dragon just gets up and charges you straight away with this massive growl.
Fabulous. Right, I countercharge immediately.
Charged.
I counted.
The gilded bear for the gilded bear. Lower the lance.
Okay, can I just intercept? If that's happening, I've got my crossbow ready during this time. I'm pretty much aiming the crossbow at the dragon, at its head, at its eye.
And as I close, I shout, "Gentlemen, loose your bows, if you would be so kind."
So Finch is just like, "So James is sacrificing for himself for us so we can get to the castle. Don't let his sacrifice be in vain. Quickly!" And
so I still want to take one shot before I run.
One shot. Okay. What's your reflex, Sir James?
My I haven't got my sheet here.
Actually, let me. I have a sheet. Yeah.
I think I got 2. I think I got 2 on reflex, haven't I?
Okay. So, here we are. Sorry, Sir James. Yeah, you've got 2. So, all right, you get to declare last because you get to perceive what's happening. You're so well trained in the combative art. So you see Tullen getting his crossbow ready to back you up, to shoot, to distract, whatever. You see the other men running. Alethea, what are you doing?
I'm making sure that while the human is being human, I'll just go the other way around and go into the frigging castle.
And Finchon is with you. The other soldiers are with you doing that as well. And the dragon is just charging at you, and you see it breathe in, and a glow starting to emanate in its throat. A warmish glow.
How exciting. Don't forget my horse can sidestep, so I'm looking forward to it discharging its flame. I shall sidestep just as it starts and continue, and I shall aim for its throat, the inside of its mouth with my lance, in typical St. George and the Dragon fame.
I actually have a question.
Yes.
So if the dragon, breathes fire, which I assume is going to be extremely hot on Sir James' armor, if he then jumps into a river, does that heat treat it?
It depends on the carbon content of his armor.
I see.
It might blue it, actually. It might change its color as well.
It might melt it onto his body.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very in line with your character. So your intent is to try and sidestep the to dodge.
Yeah, so I'll do a It's
okay,
a,
so
it's a high
if you
school
want,
music on it. Yeah.
if you want, you can choose to make a defensive action, which means for your combat roll, you will get an additional 2 dice to roll with, but whatever you get can't be used as an offensive action against your opponent. It's all defense.
I'm not there yet.
So yeah, you're not there yet. So you're closing.
I haven't actually struck, have I? So I can't, because I've got a fixed range for the lance.
Exactly.
So all I can do is.
And I'm aiming to try and shoot it at the moment that it looks like it's about to strike. In other words, to try and foil its attack.
All right. So, so James, you're going to get a base of 3, and this is you're essentially using. Combat on a horse is a bit different because it's primarily a skill-based thing, and so it's your ride skill, which you have 2 of, but you can't use all your attributes because your ride skill is based on your reflex, but you have 2 reflex, so that goes to there as well. Now, you're not actually attacking with anything, so you can't really use your lance skill or battle axe, and this is using your ride skill, which is usually not using combat in combat for this situation, which means you have a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dice to roll with. And I will roll for the dragon.
Yep. So 7.
Did you want to know how much dice the dragon has? You can't, this is metagame, you can't...
No, I didn't. No. This is glory.
This is glory. So yeah, I know. But did you want to just know just how much dice the dragon has? For this
I do.
10.
Doesn't make any difference. If you like,
won't make it. But 10.
10. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ready? So roll away.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hey. And by the way, roll 2 additional dice because you're this is a defensive action, so you get 2 additional defensive dice as well.
Right, 2 more. Just 1, 7.
Just 1, 7. Well, the dragon got 4, and so that's technically a level 3 victory, but it's a purely defensive action. So the dragon literally just spews forth this thick, almost viscous type of flame. It's almost like, you wouldn't know this, but it's almost like napalm in a sense, like for us outside the world to know, but it actually almost has substance, not this really thin gaseous flame that we usually see in special effects and things like that. This stuff is thick and vicious and burning hot, and it spews forth in this almost cone directly at you. But being ready, being trained, you duck low and you get the horse to swerve and you just dodge the fire completely, still having your lance on point.
Hey, Ray! All right, good. Now I'm just going to hit it. Good God, what was that? What stuff was that? That wasn't quite what I was expecting. I'm glad he didn't hit us, old chap. He's talking to Thunder. Good boy, Thunder.
I'm glad to. I'm following your lead. You know what to do.
You know what you're doing.
He must be reasonably close to lance impact point now.
Yes, now you're actually getting to... Now, so this is the second round. Everyone has been running, but for those who have been running, there's another thing that you need to do. Okay, none of you... First, roll a perception. This is going to be important. All of you who are running, not Sir James, roll a perception.
So I'm... Okay, I'm not running, I'm aiming.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot. You got to shoot your... Sorry, actually, yeah, Talon, could you roll your combat roll? And so... Oh, am I rolling for you? I forget.
No, I mean, I can roll, but how many dice am I rolling?
3 plus 2, plus 2 from the weapon. Do you have any skill at all in crossbow?
No.
Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 dice you get to roll with, and the dragon got a combat roll of 4, so that's what you need to beat to do anything.
No, I only got 2.
Okay, so the bolt zips through the air, hits the dragon's scales, and you almost hear like a metallic ting sound as it bounces off. Okay, so now roll perception, those who are running. So that includes you, Talon.
For their perception, so it's, again, I'm sorry if I ask every time, there's like 3 the base plus 2 because I've got perception. Do I need to add intelligence?
Add all your abilities for perception. Reflex plays into it, how quickly you can see and stuff.
Okay, that's great. So I've got 7 dice.
7 dice?
I've got 2 in perception. I've got 2 in perception. I'm very perceptive. I've got 4 successes.
4?
That's right.
3? Aelithir, as you are running, you finally see that movement in the trees, and there are wood elves. In fact, there are far more than you realize. And not only do they have their bows trained on you, they are literally drawing their bows ready to shoot upon, it looks like, everyone in your group who has been running.
Okay, I'm screaming at the elves in Elvish. I try to give it a little bit of a wood elves accent if I can, for sympathy. And I scream at them. I say, "We are not the danger. I'm a high elf. Shoot the dragon. Shoot the dragon. Don't shoot the humans. The humans are not here, to attack the forest.
Roll persuasion. That's a persuasion check. And so...
I love it when you try to do your accent.
If you have any skill in persuasion, it'll be base of 3 plus intelligence plus any skill in persuasion.
Okay, so I only get 4 dice. I'm going to use the fate if needed.
Oh, yes.
Do I need to say it?
Sorry? What was that?
Do I need to say if I use the fate or not before I roll? Or can I roll, look, and choose?
You can roll and then burn destiny points to add wins to the roll.
Let's look see. Okay, one is like not fully. It's like this. Look,
all right, I'll let you re-roll it.
Thank you. Everyone. So far, 1 success.
1 success.
2 successes.
2 successes.
How many?
You have 3 destiny points as a base in the game.
I use all. So do they? When do they recharge?
Usually after important events happen. I usually like to have a look at after each major kind of journey or quest. I also like to assign destiny points.
I would imagine a dragon is major. I use all of them.
All of them. All right, so that's 5. I'm just going to do a collective roll for the Wood Elves.
Yeah.
And so you're watching very closely as you yell, and they seem to be taken aback by the fact you speak their language. And they're like, and as you're looking around, you even see one look to it and one looks to the other.
I'm gonna do it.
And so
it's gonna take half an hour with this. Here you go. I'm going for it. Full elves. There you go. I have it.
Alethea takes off his helmet, swishes his hair back, presents his ears. and that seems to do it from Alethea's perspective. I'm assuming Talon is especially like Finch and stuff. They were looking around like, and then now that Talon has pointed out, Finch is like, "Good God, there's those creatures in the trees. They're fairy people just like him."
Thank you.
So I'm just interested, William. What are you doing while this is happening? Like, have you noticed any of this happening on?
Well, I've been busy manhandling a barrel full of salted pork up from the buttery, and then securing a big sort of hook and rope in it, and then looking for something pretty substantial to tie the other end to. And then if they're distracting it, I suppose I could perhaps maybe venture a little bit out the front to sort of throw a lot of slack out the front. Otherwise, it's just going to, with the friction, it's going to end up rolling sideways, isn't it, going nowhere. And as long as they don't run into the woods or anything, they'll have read my notes by now. So they're not going to do that. I had to mention, by the way, that the hill that we'd come up, when I said I was going to overshoot them down the hill, that I wasn't shooting into the woods, but...
Well, it's all woods. If you were shooting past them, there was no other place for it to land apart from in the woods.
Okay, I didn't know that. So I imagine that's probably taken most of this time.
Yes, so that's kind of like the cutscene where this is all happening outside of the inside. William, barrel, ding, ding, you're doing things ready. Yes, pushing things. And now,
what?
Cutting back to Sir James charging the dragon itself. And so they have reached now declaration phases. So new round, the elves do not seem to be shooting upon you, but they're not necessarily shooting on the dragon for some reason, but they've lowered their weapons and looking rather kind of odd and confused. So Talon and Alethea, what's your declaration for this round?
Running to the castle.
Running to the castle?
So what I'm doing is partly, if everyone else is running, then I'm going to run.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Finchard has been just legging it. He's like...
Yeah, okay, well, I'll run as well. I mean, my inclination is to reload my crossbow and have another go, but I'm not going to be left behind, so I run after the others.
All right, okay, so the dragon, after breathing its fire, has not stopped its charge towards you, and now is barreling towards you with a big, massive maw opened. And its head is about, like, it's sizable, okay? This is a big jaw that could easily, envelop nearly half of your horse, basically. Like, it's... and it is now lunged forward with, and its intention is, you see this big open mouth right towards you. What is your intent, Sir James?
I'm going to put the lance into its throat and into it as best I can, and try to,
You're riding out to the side to miss the throat.
I mentioned just under. What I'll do is, as soon as you feel the impact and I properly push the lance home, then you better just get us out of there. You better dodge to the side again, and we'll go to the castle as best we can.
Good plan. I just better get a whole bushel of apples while we're doing this.
Oh yeah, you'll get apples and then some.
All right. So now combat roll. So, so James, yes. So this one is now an actual combat roll. So it's going to be 3 plus your attributes, which is here it is, 2 technically because you got the negative on intelligence, and then the lance gives you a +3 in this situation from the weapon modifier. Then you have 2 in lance already on top of that, and so base of 3. So that's your whole combat roll, and that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dice to roll with.
I've only got 9. I'll have to roll 9 and then 1. Yeah. Right. Wait. 4 is a success, isn't it?
Yes, 4 to 6 is a success.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the first roll, and then a 1. So 7.
7. That could do something.
Yeah.
The dragon has a decent pool to roll with because he's now using a different weapon or weapon type attack. All right, so 7, remember that. And you do have 1 destiny point left because remember you burnt 2 against the ogre. All right, now I'm rolling for the dragon. We got the dice cam on. This is new. This is epic. This is like we don't. All right, so ready. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a 4 and 5. So you exceed the dragon's combat roll by 2, gaining a level 2 victory. You could burn a destiny point to get a level 3 victory.
Yes. Come on, I'm lancing a dragon. Who doesn't
yes, I think that's a point. Okay. So
you could use more than 1 destiny point.
But I've only got 1 left. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, so it's not high enough to. You can inflict a serious injury, which would give it a -3 dice on all rolls. Also, bearing in mind though, any person or creature that has any points in strength can spend them to reduce injury level per encounter. You don't know how strong the dragon is, but still, that would nullify its ability to be able to do that. Actually, no, we're doing the hardcore combat rules. So anyway, but you got it. You get it on point as you're riding. You aim the lance true, and it lands right in its maw, and you feel it dig into something as you're riding. And by practice, I'm assuming you let go of the lance to ride past it.
Yep. You couch it, and then yeah.
And so you release the lance and expertly weave past it with tremendous practice and skill. And you even hear your horse scream out, "For the gilded bear! For the gilded bear! Take that, you four-legged chicken!"
Four-legged chicken.
And you ride past it. You are like, you're feeling, I imagine, just over the moon. You just lanced a dragon in the mouth.
Yeah. This is brilliant. This is the stuff of, this is sainthood almost. This is more than legend. I could become the patron of some small offshore island with this kind of activity.
Some
you'll
tax haven.
It might even end on one of those pub signs, in England.
Exactly. It could go really well for me.
Fintred is like, as he's been running, is like, he actually runs and stops as he sees, like, by the sakes of the man's a bloody... Do you see what... And then he stops, because the dragon, I'm assuming you look back to see what happens, roars out in anger and frustration, turns around to this thing sticking out of his mouth. He looks at you and and snaps the lance off in its mouth, and it is furious. It just bellows this massive roar and is charging after you.
Oh, I should just keep going towards the castle and shout, "Can somebody open the gate, please?" Briskly.
Briskly.
with a little alacrity. You there on the gate. You there on the gate.
There's William reading out slack in the line.
Yes, William. Oh, so, William, I'm assuming you've lowered the drawbridge?
No, with some trepidation. Yeah. Okay, have I found something that looks even faintly strong enough to actually hold a dragon tugging at this? I mean, I've got to find something really secure to tie the chain, the horse, or whatever I've got.
So this type of drawbridge is a counterweight drawbridge where the limbs that stick out that the chains are hooking onto extend into the castle and have weights attached to them that swing down to pull the drawbridge up. And they are solid and they're sturdy. In fact, now that the drawbridge is down, so because if these are the limbs, they go down like that, and they go up like that, flat like that. So that's how a counterweight drawbridge works. If you tie them to the counterweight and anything gets pulled on, it could actually have the result of pulling up the drawbridge. As a result, if you tied it to the counterweights.
Okay, how high are the counterweights?
They're obviously high enough to, or there's a rope connected to them that are used to pull down on them.
Right, but that only has to be strong enough to pull the counterweights down.
Yes.
This has to be strong enough to hold a dragon that doesn't want to be on the end of this thing. So, right, okay. I'm doing my best to attach this really shocking great horser to this thing because I reckon that a dragon, if it's just a little knot or whatever, it's just going to go ping.
Lord Sarek's like, do you need help? I can get help.
Yes, I mean yes.
Come everyone who's getting this castle. We get it. So some servants quickly are racing down, and some help arrives as the drawbridge. On the outside, you see the drawbridge lowered. You don't know what's going on there, but you're all pushing people up to try and tie onto the counterweight lever on the inside of the drawbridge. At this time, Alethea, Talin, and Fintred, as well as 3 of the soldiers, you've reached now the inclining up mound of dirt that the drawbridge sits on, because there's a mound of dirt and then there's a gap and then there's the actual wall of the castle, because the door is raised above ground level and the drawbridge is lowered, and you're now on that mound running up to get to the drawbridge, looking like you're towards safety. But as you look back, you see a horse galloping with the most angry looking dragon you could imagine chasing after it, just screaming. And so, new round. What are your declarations?
Running for my life.
Can I just how did we see what happened with the lance in the dragon's mouth? We saw all of that, did we?
Yeah, I assume that because you had your crossbow on it, then you're probably running, keeping an eye and things, and you saw it kind of just get this like pretty powerful lance hit in its mouth, a soft part you would assume. It got stuck. It hurt him. It was annoyed, but it literally just chomped down and bit it off.
So we kind of know from that it's not worth trying to shoot it with more crossbows or whatever, because it's just not going to work.
Unless you get like a glorious shot. Out of game, the dragon has a very high strength rating, which means it can it has a essential and natural form of damage reduction. That every damage it does, it can reduce the injury because it's so muscular and resistant to damage and things.
Like Constitution.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And so, you can infer from the fact that it almost looks like it nearly just shrugged off that lance hit that you're going to need to do something extreme if you're going to kill this thing. Possible. Yeah. There is something that you might still notice. So I'll get you all to roll a perception check. And actually, Jason, I will give you a bonus on your roll. I'll give you a +1 win because you have had direct, very close, interaction to see how this thing is moving, to see if you might discern something rather significant about it.
I smelt it as I went past. It's got dirty teeth. Yeah. Is it so?
5.
5?
2.
Two.
And William, you're a bit indisposed, so you didn't get to really notice. But Alethea, you notice something very odd. That thing is moving way too fast for its size. Like, in actual fact, even as its feet land, it isn't landing with the weight and thump you would think from a creature of that size. It is moving quickly and fast, and that shouldn't be the case because it's big. And so you actually able to see this thing is light, but how could it be so light being so large? Something is different about it.
Is he an illusion or what?
It's not an illusion. It's physical, but
it's physical.
It's a real thing. But how could it achieve being so light with being so large?
Is he flying? Like, is he halfway?
It hasn't flied yet. It's charging.
So, okay.
But that's the only thing Alethea notices.
Is he a blow? Well, I do say it out loud. Is he like a dragon version of a blowfish?
What's that? What blowfish? What are you talking about?
No, I mean, it's too light. Look at it. It's like it doesn't look its weight. It shouldn't be able to move that fast. Something is wrong.
There's a magical creature from the fairyland. Why do you have pointy ears? I don't get in the castle, you crazy thing. That's Finch's response.
Yeah.
So, I mean, out of game. I mean, I've got a good idea, but I don't know how. I don't think Talon would. So I can't roleplay it.
Well, out of game. What's your idea? I'm just interested.
Well, given that he can belch out flammable stuff, he must have a sort of gaseous balloon-like structure in his body.
It's possible. There is you wouldn't be able to role play it to your characters, but out of game, the density of the bones must be different as well. Like the heavier things inside this creature must be, just naturally evolved to be much lighter to support its frame, and also especially if it can fly. But your characters don't really. But you have this first clue. It's moving too quickly for its size, and it's landing with far less force on the ground than it should. Especially, so James is a bit distracted, but
but I get to go last, don't I, in this round because of my
these are the declarations, and so.
But this dragon, no one's seen this dragon fly, have they? It's got wings, but no one's seen it fly.
No one's seen it fly.
And is it how quick? Is it as quick as a horse across the ground?
It seems like it. It's moving. It's moving fast, and it's keeping pace with Sir James. And of course, it stopped. It chomped, and so there's a good distance still. But it's chasing.
I guess the usual assumption is if something can run that quick, then it doesn't fly very often, because creatures that fly a lot aren't usually fantastic at running, although there's a few exceptions to that, but generally. So
there's actually a lot of interesting physics that would come into play for a creature that size. For instance, getting enough wind under it to even get lift. There's a whole number of issues. Like, it has wings, so it's logical to presume it can fly, but it's not currently flying, and so there could be other mitigating circumstances which is causing it to not opt to being able to do that.
But you don't know that no one's seen it fly because you haven't read the note.
This is true. This is true.
Yes.
I'd like to do some sort of quick estimates of time. If I keep going at this speed towards the gate, will I get to the gate and the dragon get to the gate at the same, before the people on foot?
Unless something very unfortunate happens, like the horse missteps, trips, or something that's unlikely, but it's possible, you will get to the gate with a full round to spare before the dragon will reach you. He's about a round behind you.
the foot, will the foot get there before me?
They were already running towards it, and so they're basically at the castle. You're around away.
So I don't. What I'm saying is, I don't need to do another circuit to kind of distract the dragon, and I can just keep going.
Yes.
Okay, fine. But that's what I do. I go hell for leather and say, Thunder, just be careful. We might need to leap the gap to get through the closing drawbridge and skid dramatically to a halt as it closed.
I mean, I think we've got to prioritise getting into the castle because...
Well, luckily the drawbridge is lowered.
Yeah, as far as we know, any kind of creature is not going to be able to pursue us into the castle. And even if it does, it's going to be stuck in some kind of gate or corridor. And there are other soldiers in there where we can force magnify on it.
Just get in the castle. Get in the castle. I'm yelling to you. Go. You get out my way because I'm coming fast.
And so, William, with the drawbridge lowered, you're seeing suddenly, as you're trying to work with this thing, you see William, Talon, Fintred, and the thing just running across the drawbridge, getting inside.
Right, I leave secure it as fast as you can. It's got to be able to take a hell of a strain. And I start pushing the barrel out, which I've pulled one end off, so it's open, so the thing will be able to smell it. And I've thrown out the slack before, which I mentioned. So I'm just rolling it. I've just got to get it to roll as far as the slope, and then all going well, its shape and weight will carry it.
You absolutely get there. As soon as you get to the slope, it starts to just roll naturally down the hill as well.
Okay, and then I just.
Well, at that moment that Sir James meets you on his horse as you've been galloping with speed, and Sir James, what's?
I pick him up. Yeah.
You pick him. Oh, all right. So you reach down to grab him
out of the way, and gallop through the gate and slam the door shut.
Right, Sir James, I can climb back up again.
So you'll need to roll to be able to do that, and it's a kind of a complex, like a combination of a strength and reflex. Yeah, technically it's a grapple check, and so
I can do it.
Hey, you actually have a point in grapple, Sir James. So 1 plus 1 from your strength, and it's a difficult task, and so I will give it a challenge level of 4, and you have 5 dice to roll with, and so it's going to be tricky.
No. I'm afraid I missed.
So as you reach down, you grab a good hold onto William's top and yank it as you ride past, ripping his entire tunic completely off his body as you ride into the castle, and William becomes shirtless.
Sorry, William. I'll give you your shirt back shortly.
I quite understand.
William, you look forward, and there is a furious dragon charging towards you, and you are the closest thing to it now. What do you do?
I'm told it's remarkable how quick you can dig a burrow when you're really up against it.
You can make it back into the castle if you leg it. I mean, it's not far.
So the drawbridge is down, right?
Yes.
So I've fallen off the drawbridge into the ditch or whatever. Could I not just run under the drawbridge?
Okay, if you there, sure, that is absolutely. So you're hiding under the drawbridge.
Yeah.
You roll roll.
Because if it takes the bait, it'll then close the drawbridge, which will lift it off me, and I'll be quite close to a big angry dragon.
Yes. So what's your intention then?
Well, for the moment, hide under the drawbridge. If I ever feel the drawbridge is going to disappear, I'll run around the ditch terribly fast.
So you'll need to roll a stealth check to try and stay out of sight of the dragon. And I'm not sure you have any points in stealth, but it's a reflex based skill. And so
I could use deception to deceive it into thinking I'm not there. I could infiltrate under. I've also got survival, which I think is extremely personal.
Survival might be. I would let you use survival in this instance.
Okay, to camouflage myself or something.
Yes, exactly.
2.
Oh, okay. I will roll for the dragon.
Dragon, where's he gone? Oh, barrel full of pork.
Dragon got 4. So,
Barrel of port.
barrel, well, it knows you're there.
Right there.
And it kind of,
that does smell good.
the thing is, though, it was just offended rather grossly by a big stick, and its eye has been trained more focused on.
William. Sorry.
On the thing. So as you race into the castle and look back, the dragon seems to have not taken its eye off of you and runs forward, and we're into a new round, decoration phase. So, Talin, Alethir, what are you declaring? Because you can't act in reaction to the dragon because the dragon has higher reflex than you, but so James has higher reflex than the dragon. So you don't yet know what the dragon's doing. What is your action? And remember, if you do something that unfortunately is counterproductive to protecting yourself based on what the dragon is doing, that's your declaration. So you just have to try and guess, I guess, what you think the dragon might do, and or it's up to you.
Huh.
You see, this is where I really like where the declaration phase becomes very important, because.
I mean, I'm fundamentally fixated with trying to get myself into a defensible position. So I'm just trying to get away and get into the whatever. What space are we actually? So where are we exactly?
You're in an entry hall of the castle, which is this small protrusion before the actual main part, and it's got murder holes above. It's actually like a stop gap, and so after you get through one door, you need to get through another one to actually get into the main castle body.
Are there any kind of like doorways or stairwells or this kind of?
There's a door that you came in through, and on the exact opposite side, there's another double door that opens to a larger portion in the castle, which is the castle proper. This is a temporary, false entrance, essentially. The entry hall, usually called, and that's exactly where you're in at the moment.
So I'm just trying to go in, basically. Okay. I'm trying to get as far in as possible.
Finch is like, close the doors before the beast gets us. He's actually got one of the doors and he's closing it, completely oblivious to the fact that William's out there.
Oh yeah, William.
It was nice knowing him. He was occasionally useful.
Do I see William?
Did you see what happened to him? Good question. I think it makes sense that you were keeping your eye out what's going on, because you saw William rolling this thing out, and then like the horse pulling him, and then so James tried to grab him, but pulling the shirt off, and William's still falling down. And so yeah, you saw William fall off the drawbridge into the ditch in between.
And did I notice that the dragon is not paying attention to William and is fixated on?
It's still fixated on you, but it happened in front of the dragon, so you could be fairly well assured that the dragon knows where William fell, even though he's still charging directly towards you.
Well, I'll try to reach William, see if I can help him out.
How? Because if you go to the edge of the drawbridge, there's a good, you're looking at 6-ish to 7 meters down the ditch where he fell and then rolled down further into, and you're above on the drawbridge, kind of like looking on a bridge looking down. What's your intention?
Okay, so I can't reach him with anything.
Can't reach. Okay. Yeah, you'll need rope or something like that.
Okay, we don't have rope, I suppose. Okay. Right.
There is rope nearby, but yes, sorry, William.
On the underside I look at the underside of the drawbridge above me, and remembering how this looked when it was in the up position, if I were to hang on to this and it were drawn up and I managed to hang on all the way to the top.
Do you think you could flip over into
was it possible to, was there a gap there or?
Okay, so the drawbridge never comes fully vertical because then it would fall, and so it always hangs off on a slight outwards angle. So when you release slack, it'll lower properly. And you remember that from when it was lowered. And under the drawbridge, there are 2 main beams, which then the horizontal, bits are all, fixed to like that. So there's 2 main beams, and then there's the horizontal part, horizontal timbers, basically. And so you could try and with one of these beams, you could try and hold on to it somehow. Like you'd need to be inventive to hold on to the end. So as the drawbridge gets pulled up, you could be on the end, and perhaps there is a chance you could flip over it in as it fully raises and gets to that point.
Well, with what clothing that's still left of me, I've still got a belt, and so maybe I could improvise and sort of thread it through where the planking is.
There is enough room as the timbers meet. They're kind of not perfectly flush because it's just an outside drawbridge. It doesn't need to be fancy, and there's enough room to kind of just push and thread through your belt in between this beam and kind of hold on to it.
What a maneuver!
What a maneuver! Tactics. William's a smart one. You can tell. That's great. All right, so you're doing that, William, as so that's your declaration. So, James, you look back, and the dragon, as it is bellowed forth, it would be able to fit its head through. It might even be able to fit into the door is large enough. It could fit its shoulders through because it's about the size of elf, so it probably could. But what it actually does, it runs up and then stops at as the mound raises to the drawbridge, raises up, pulls its neck back, and you see a glow starting to emanate in its throat.
As I go, get out of its direct breath cone, dodge to the side, whatever you do. It's nasty stuff. Don't get too close. So
you're yelling everyone to try and get to the sides of the door because this.
Yelling?
Sorry, what, William?
No, that's not yelling. That's mentioning.
Yeah. So yes. So James, could you yell it for us?
I'll say. Everybody in the gatehouse. Just perchance you would like to know that there's a dragon about to breathe snotty fire down onto us. I would suggest quite strongly that you should go to one side or the other to get out of the direct range. It is your choice. I don't want to say what you should or shouldn't do in this circumstance, and then I've gone.
Could we have a more detailed explanation of what you'd like?
Get out of the way!
So Fintred at this point has managed to close one of the doors, and he's just like, and he just puts himself against the door like on the side, just like trying to hide. And so Talin and Elithir, your reactions to that?
So I'm trying to load my crossbow now. Now that I feel that I'm safely inside, I'm trying to get the crossbow loaded. Yep.
And are you standing in front of the gap of the door or off to a side with some cover?
Yeah, I mean, I'm some way in at this point. I've gone as far in as I can, and I've sheltered off to the side while I try to load my crossbow.
And I try to look for full cover. I try to find a corridor. I try to find something that has some sort of structure, anything, even like an overbridge, even a piece of balcony, whatever.
Okay, so you do that, and I rolled a destiny. You all gain cover, and the dragon opens its mouth and just spews out this almost viscous burning fire that as it hits the door, that the half, one of the doors that were closed, it literally shakes from impact, and this burning almost napalm just spews in okay, so who were closest to the door? So if this is the room and this is the door, who were closer to these corners, essentially, is what I'm asking. Because Fintred was?
Well, I've gone fully to the back. I was trying to get as far away as possible.
So you exited this entry hall into the greater hall around the corner?
Yeah.
And that's what Alethea would have done when he was saying, I want full cover. So that's where you're there. Unfortunately, there were a number of people remaining inside that room, fiddling with the connection rope on the thing as that was happening, including Lord Sarek Crow. And they are caught directly in the path of this vicious fire, and they become fully aflame, burning corpses. Like, and it's not just like, as I said, gaseous fire that could burn out and disappear. They almost have like what looks to be clumps of burning molten fire, and they are screaming in agony in the most painful ways as this fire burns into them and does not go anywhere, and they start to melt in front of you.
Toasty. My gosh.
Finchred is just like, Finchred is basically like just screaming at the top of his head, like just horrified.
Do I recognize the screams as anyone I know?
You might recognize Finchred's one, so you're probably thinking he's dying, but they're
all bad.
So obviously this is all very horrific, but
it's set. Actually, no. The floor here is stone, so it hasn't set the floor on fire. Luckily, but there are tapestries and there's like a wooden bench and a lot of flammable things are starting to react. Luckily, this type of fire, as it spews forward, always falls down because there's actual weight to it, and so it hasn't spread up. And luckily, the timber, roof, which is usually the floor to the next one up, has not caught on fire, but it's almost like a thin layer of lava has been sprayed onto the ground around you. That's it.
I swear in Elven.
So a couple of things. First of all, during all of this time, because I'm still looking for somewhere to shoot my next bolt, do I stand any chances of spying any more weak spots on it other than its eyes?
Roll an intelligence check to see, because you're continually thinking about how can we kill this thing. This thing is
So that's 4 dice for me, isn't it?
Yes. 3 plus your intelligence. Now, if you have combat training and everything, there are circumstantial modifiers you might be able to justify to get a bonus. Now, at this point, you could burn destiny points because you're this is a serious danger situation. Your life is on the line. You need an answer to try and kill this thing somehow.
I've got 3. I've got 3, haven't I?
You've got 3 destiny points still.
I'll use one of them.
Well, yeah, but I'll let you know on... For some reason, where's your character sheet? So James... Talon, there he is. So let's have a look at your skill points. Artisan, Merchant, Deception, Persuasion, Bride Pilot, Perception. There's not too many related skills you could use to try and help you out here. So it's going to be a flat intelligence check, but I'll let you add your Perception. So 3 plus 2 will be on the roll.
And a destiny point as well.
So you're automatically going to get a +1 win.
Okay. So I roll 5 dice.
Yep. Well, 3 plus 2, and then add on a win to whatever you roll from the destiny point that you're using.
Yep. Okay. Oh, so I got 3, so 4.
4.
Rolled a 4.
You realize as you're trying to think what could do it, you're thinking. You remember stories of tales of creatures that that could move but were much, much lighter, like birds and other strange animals, and that they had almost hollow bones. And if this creature has hollow bones for its size, its bones could be far more brittle than you might suspect, which would mean heavy blunt force impact attacks might actually have a far greater effect on this beast than anything else, especially like bolts and things.
So we need to... So I start shouting at the others, we need to drop something on it. We need to drop something heavy on it as quickly as possible.
Finch is like, I go up, we go up. And so he starts to carefully walk across the safe parts on this lava that's on the ground. So get to the top. They must have rocks or some kind in here. To the matriculations! Then he runs.
Did we not establish last week that there were no maculations?
He doesn't know that.
That was the lookout tower.
Yeah.
I actually think Silverthorn doesn't have any, but Finchard, he expects that they should, and so that's what he called out to. He just castles should have maculations, so he calls it.
So Talon's thinking at this point is that we either need to trap the dragon in the room where we can somehow try and drop things or collapse things onto him, or if he remains outside the walls, we need to use the battlements as falling rock. So we need to actually push the walls down onto it.
So push walls. So that's what you're thinking at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Alethea?
Yeah, I try to make my way upstairs, I suppose.
So running upstairs. The dragon, as it, breathe fire. I rolled a destiny dice for this. You got 16. So as it breathes, there's the castle. There you go. That's the front. Oh no, that's the back side of it, actually. Is there a picture of the front entrance of it that you might be able to? I'll get Ben to get a picture of the front side of Silverthorn, because that'll show the entrance part as well. So the dragon, as it breathed fire, everything, it was moving around, and its foot knocks something, and it looks down in frustration at this barrel, and you hear this like a big sniff, and it goes down and grabs the thing in its mouth and just does a big massive yank on it in frustration, like trying to get it out of the way, which is of course connected to the counterweight on the drawbridge. And William, I'm assuming you're under holding onto.
Yeah. I got maybe a knife out as well to sort of work into a crack and act as a handle. And I hope that bites and gets.
Well, the drawbridge is getting flung up with a considerable amount of force, and so you're just going with it. And you're seeing this as it happens, Sir James, because you get to declare last. What are you doing?
Well, I've gone through, so I'm obviously just I've got out of range a little bit, but I'm obviously just gonna get off the horse. I can say to Thunder, stay out of the way. This dragon is dangerous. And I'll just turn around and sort of run back towards the action. That's probably all I can do in the
so as you're running towards it, the drawbridge is coming up, but you are there so William, it's getting flung up with considerable force, and it's going to hit it's got some points on its lower hinges, which stops the drawbridge from going fully vertical. So it's going to be pretty forcefully up there and get a hit. And so you're going to need to roll a grapple to hold on to, because this is going to hit with a lot of force and jerk, and you need to see if you can keep your hold onto the drawbridge.
Okay. Oh dear. Survival dog's body? Oh, all right. Well, three.
Three is it's a difficult task. You might need to burn a destiny point.
Three?
It's a 4. So do you want to burn a destiny point?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So destiny, fate seems to be on your side as you lose grip, but your arm was looped around a loop on the belt as it hits. And I'm just going to roll a destiny to see what happens.
Okay.
It's a 5. So unfortunately, the jerk wasn't enough to swing you anywhere, but you're on the outside and you've knocked, and I'm assuming, do you cry out in pain, shock, or something?
I think it's probably what I say. I look around me, work out, where's the dragon? Is it on the inside of the castle or the outside of the castle?
It's on the outside of the castle. You're the closest thing to
so
it.
I'm going to be on the inside of the castle. Right.
You're wanting to climb up over the drawbridge and fall inside.
Yes.
Yes.
Fortunately, I've got, I'm quite near the edge, so I should have at least one good handhold. And as long as I can push out of the belt, I can use my belt for, hang on.
Yeah, exactly.
For a hold.
That will be to your declaration. Your action in this round was to hold on. You managed to hold on. Sir James, you hear kind of like a thump, a groan, and then you see this arm trying to crawl up from atop the drawbridge. And what's your reaction to that?
Well, I can see William needs help, so I'm just going to sort of dodge the burning stuff and horrible sights in the gatehouse and see if there's any way I can somehow kind of go up and grab his hand and and help him. I'm not sure how tall this gate is.
It's considerably tall, but it's on angle, and so with a good run up, you might be able to. Have you seen the Ninja Warrior thing where they try and get up that? You might be able to do something like that, and you have a strength and 2 reflex. You are a remarkably athletic person, and so I'm. My character might not realize. Would this knock the drawbridge back down again if I leap onto it? The counterweights, the drawbridge works that when the counterweights lock in that way, you actually need to move. There's basically a hinge where they come in, they lock on like that.
So it's solid. So
it's pretty solidly affixed now. Drawbridges are made so that you can't force them down by an attacking thing on the outside.
So I'll do what I can and put my back into it and try and sort of scramble, leap, up to try and grab his hand to stop him falling back and try and pull him back into the castle.
So you have 1 on grapple. So it's 3 plus 3. 7 dice you get to roll with to see if you can achieve that. So I'll get you to roll 7.
Right. Good luck, William. 4.
That's the challenge level 4. It's a difficult task. So James just in the moment, the adrenaline rushing, even in up, just runs with all his might, hits the thing and gets a few good footholds on the side of this, drawbridge as it's hanging to just manage to get an arm up on the top part of the drawbridge. But as you reach and grab that arm, you use your other arm to grasp William's hand that is also just grabbed on the top, holding him in place and helping him, preventing him from falling off.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Sorry, William, is that uncomfortable to you?
Ow! Okay, I'm fighting to get my foot in the belt so I can use it to put my weight on.
From where you are now, William, it's a challenge level 3 to just climb over and get in. And so roll, and depending on what you roll, luckily there is a Sir James who can assist you achieve that task.
Okay. 2.
So you do have another destiny point to use if you want.
Am I right in saying I started with 3?
Yes.
Okay, because I've only just used 1. That was
You've
my
only
first
used
one.
1, so you have another 2.
So I have to use both of them.
No, it's a challenge level. What did I say? I thought it was 3.
Oh, okay. I'll use 1 then.
1. So with Sir James holding your hand, and you're desperate. You pull your foot up and slipped, but luckily with you leverage up, and you get over the drawbridge, and you both tumble down into the castle to safety. And you hear the dragons roar outside in frustration and anger.
I hope it bites on the hook well.
Well done, William. Put some clothes on, for goodness sake, man. You're quite a state.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir.
So the plan at the moment was to race up to the top of the castle to see if there's a way to defeat the dragon. But luckily, the heroes have reached the castle in safety. The dragon doesn't seem to. You can't. It's roaring. It's angry, but you're not hearing fire. Fire being breathed on the castle and things like that. So there is still much to be done. A dragon to be done. You don't know what the dragon will be doing next. But now you've reached a point of safety. I think it might be a good point to end this arc in the journey on this series of the Curse of Silverthorn, and they've made it inside Silverthorn itself, Silverthorn Castle. So what a place to end. Here we go. That might be one of my favorite sessions. Thank you guys to join. That was.
Oh yeah, thank you. That was great.
That was tremendous. I loved so much of that. And thank you everyone for joining us. We really do appreciate you accompanying us on this wonderful journey and quest and adventure. So until next time, we shall see you next time, which makes sense.